Humphreys, who is a top seed in these events. He was knocked out by Ryan Searle in the quarterfinals, but he was duly dumped out by this man Aspinall in the semis as Krzysztof Ratajski just got the better of Danny Noppert. And the Polish Eagle is in his first final of the year, and he's looking to win his 9th PDC title. Nathan Aspinall looking to win his 2nd of the season. Chris Murphy in commentary alongside Mark Webb. It's been a great day of darts, hasn't it, Mark?
Has been fantastic, and
100.
These two have found a way to contest this first final of the next 3 days, and good to see Ratajski at the business end again.
100.
In the qualifiers last night for the first time in 3 years, and people concerned about his form, but he's put down a marker today and played well in this semi-final. Nathan Aspinall
100.
will have to play better than he did in the semi, but he found a way.
They're both players that are flirting with being in and out of the top 16 in the world. Nathan Aspinall, by reaching this final, has gone above Dave Chisnell on the order of merit into 15th spot, and Ryan Searle's in 17th, so it's a nice little cluster. Ratajski in 18th
100.
behind them, having just dropped out of the top 16. By the way, Danny Noppert, who reached the semi-finals, is up to a career-high 9th now.
Yeah, credit Danny Noppert. When he came over to the PDC about 5 years ago, had high hopes for a living in the sport, but now mixing it in the top echelons.
53.
Major champion, but he fell short today.
It was just 2018, Mark, when Danny Noppert and Krzysztof Ratajski were playing at qualifying school.
Yeah, incredible.
59.
And Krzysztof Ratajski, I think, failed, didn't he? And then won his place by winning 3 events without a tour card.
Yeah, 3 of the 8 that he's won so far came without a tour card. Aspinall takes the first leg, though, in this one. A man who has 7 PDC titles to his name, looking to tie the tally with the Polish Eagle.
Yeah, but first blood to Nathan Aspinall.
Their first ever meeting was in a final, in fact, 2019 in the summer in Wigan, when Ratajski beat Aspinall 8-3.
140.
And they've met 7 times before now. Ratajski getting the better of Aspinall on 5 occasions. Aspinall's most recent win was here in Barnsley last October.
Yeah, Aspinall in a 4th final, as you've said.
140.
Victory over Campbell this year. A defeat to Scott Williams in Niedenhausen.
Did win the biggest of the matches between the pair, and it was a career-changing run for Nathan Aspinall.
84.
2020 World Championship. He reached the semi-finals, having beaten Ratajski by 4 sets to 3.
Yeah, it was an incredible tie, that one. As he commentated on that last 16 tie, and it was on the route for Nathan Aspinall to go back-to-back semi-finals at the World Championship. And that's when he really introduced himself to the world scene of darts, when he qualified for the Worlds. And with shots like that, he made it all the way to the semi-final on debut. Took Gedwin Price out early after defeating Gaetan Enches, and that's what really opened the draw for him. And since then, he's really been an established figure.
Yeah, he just won one of these events, hadn't he, towards the back end of that season, the 2018 season that led into the 2019 World Championship, when he had about £10 in his bank account, and by the end of the day he had 10,000.
Yeah, that figure's changed so much, hasn't it? I've heard £70. You're bringing it down and down. We're adding to the story, but the gist of it was Nathan Aspinall changed his life, changed his career on the back of those performances.
180.
When he's a Premier player in this sport now. A couple of 180s already in this match, taking his tally for the afternoon to 15, and threatening to get away from Ratajski.
134.
All the early exchanges are going the way of Nathan Aspinall, giving Ratajski plenty to ponder here.
57.
brilliant stuff, this. Well, he's missed a big number just as I said that. But he will tidy it up, I feel sure. D16 located for a 3-leg lead for Nathan Aspinall. An astonishing start to the match for him.
Just didn't see this coming, Chris. Obviously, I covered his semi-final, Nathan Aspinall, and he just wasn't at it, and he wasn't at it in the previous quarter-final. And I thought maybe he's running out of steam because he averaged in the 80s against Bunting, averaged in the 80s against Ryan Searle. But this is a blistering start
96
against the Polish Eagle.
Yeah, went into this leg averaging 110 after winning the first 3. Ratajski not yet
84.
allowed a throw at double in this final.
$100.
Yeah, needs to hold here. You go a double breakdown, I stand by. It's a long way to claw it back at this level of play. But as I say that, Aspinall recovered from 2 breaks in the previous
180
semi-final. But the point I'm getting at, that wasn't a high standard. You felt it was all a bit scrappy. But this, you let someone get ahead in a tie and control it, it's a long way back.
Not a massive maximum hitter, Ratajski. Just
109.
his 9th of the day there to leave the 150. And he will surely get his first starts at double in this leg. Although not in this visit. Aspinall watches with interest
98
as he looks to pile on some pressure.
Yeah, and if Ratajski can turn this around, it'll be a 5th consecutive year that he's won
83
the PDC ranking title. 2018 when he went on the Challenge Tour and on the main tour. He won the World Masters in 2017 as well.
Game shot.
And is on the board. Gets the 4th leg of the match. A little bit of emotion from him. He knows it's early in this final. Won't be panicking yet.
58.
He's got a great record of winning the last event of the year, Ratajski. He's done that 3 times.
He did the back end for his only title last year against Joe Cullen, didn't he?
We could just see him looking a little bit animated and frustrated in the background there as he approached
45.
the drinks table. Not happy with how it's going so far, and why would he be? Well, we saw him grow into the game in the semi-final. Those who watched that on stream too.
100.
His finishing was dreadful for the first half of the match, but he really sharpened it up. Well, he's kind of doing the same thing with the scoring in this one.
I don't know if Dan mentioned when you worked on that semi-final as well, the composure he showed against Dimitri van den Berg in the deciding leg. He was on 87, 17, treble 20, went for a walk, had a little drink of water, and you could tell he was confident. He hit the double 5, pinned it, but
98.
a very different Krzysztof Ratajski today. He was good at the World Match Play, lost out in a thriller to Peter Wright, but I feel he's turned the corner the last couple of weeks.
98.
Yeah, especially after those disappointing couple of results that he had here last night that you mentioned. Not only did he not qualify for either of the European Tour events in Belgium or Gibraltar, a tournament that he's won before, but he didn't win a match, lost in the first round in both of them.
Yeah, and he'd been keen to go back to Gibraltar. You always want to go back to a place where you've won titles, I mean, and that is a big title on the Euro Tour for Krzysztof Ratajski. But Aspinall, who won his semi-final on this double, looks to get halfway to winning the final on this double. 28 points separate Aspinall from a 4-1 lead.
56.
It's been a very impressive year for Aspinall. No doubt about that, for more reasons than just his results. What he's been through to produce them.
Game shot.
And he might get a second win of the season here. He is halfway there, but you know, we've talked about it a lot, but I think it is worthy of mention again in a final that this player at this point of last year, or certainly into the back end of the year, you really feared for his career.
Yeah, the World Championships were a real chore, wasn't it? The game against Joe Mernon, when he almost lost, and he was well beaten by Callum Ridds. And I spoke to him in the first Euro Tour of the year, which was actually based on last year's qualification. So Nathan qualified when the arm wasn't injured. But he said he just wanted to win his first game against Jeff Smith. And typical tenacious Nathan Aspinall goes and makes the semi-final. And it kind of sort of rested everyone's fears then that, look, we're still going to see Nathan Aspinall. remarkably, he's gone on to win a title, runner-up on 2 occasions,
100.
but could be winning another one here, and just none of us expected it. We thought it would be a real struggle for Nathan.
Yeah, we saw him playing with strapping, heavy strapping on that wrist in some tournaments. He's mentioned as well, or he's mentioned that he's since given up playing golf, his hobby. Fairly ironic he's running to an eagle in the final of this one.
105.
Very good. But he is dominating this final, Nathan Aspinall. And just how will the arm hold up? Because obviously this is 1/3 of this festival of darts we've got in Barnsley this week. And there's a lot more darts for Nathan to play. He's in the World Series of Darts qualifiers on Saturday as well.
Well, that treble will make Ratajski feel that he has to take out this 117. You could see him when he saw the treble go in, he scratched his head, he turned around, he took a gulp of water. That did the trick for him on that 5-5 earlier on, Mark, but would it do the trick for him on a big ton plus combo?
Well, there's some pressure on it, as there was on that 5-5.
77.
He's unlucky, and we saw a lot of that when he was frustrated, banging his hands together.
He might do himself an injury. Be careful, Krzysztof.
Game shot.
He has to be very, very careful now because this match is getting away from him.
You heard the reaction from Nathan Aspinall. He's got that buffer. It's a 4-leg lead.
A superb performance, as you said, Mark, to up it from the level in the semi.
100.
Was more about the slump of Searle than the acceleration of Aspinall. To this level in the final is very, very impressive.
Yeah, and you, like I said, you just made a bit concerned that he was just running out of steam for today, and I made you concerned about him in terms of going forward. I thought maybe he would fall short here, but this is some response from Nathan.
140.
He looks fired up, and he's 3 legs away from ranking title number 2 of 2022.
43.
Well, he's holding all the aces at the moment. Ratajski seemingly powerless
79.
to halt this avalanche of excellence from the Asp.
Yeah, it's a long way back.
Similar position though, isn't it? Similar standard and similar position to that Aspinall himself faced in the semi.
Yeah, the difference I said, the difference I said is the level of play wasn't there. Searle was 5-2 up, but the averages were sort of 86 playing 80. This is going to be 6-1 with a player averaging over 103, and it's a different prospect altogether. But he's got to clutch the things like that. But at the minute, it's all one-way traffic in favour of the Asp.
Game shot.
And he's now just 2 away. Brilliant he's been on that 16. In fact, brilliant he's been on all the doubles so far in this game. Just 1 miss.
85.
6 out of 7, Nathan Aspinall. That's absolutely exceptional. Restricting Ratajski to just 3 darts at the outer ring.
Yeah, that's a key point to make there, Chris. When you're 6-1 down, you want it clutched up some sort of positives in the game, a chance to get back in it. Your opponent's averaging over 100, it is doubles
58.
at a high percentage. You find hard to make a case for Krzysztof here, and even more so there, 16 points in the averages. It is all Nathan Aspinall, but
100.
He's got to stay focused, finish the job.
Well, he is a man who self-admittedly at the World Match Play
125.
wanted to make a bit of a noise, wanted to say, don't forget about me. And other players have been taking all the plaudits of late. And he certainly made a case. Some good performances there. Could have easily gone further than he did. And now looking like he's going to back it up with the title the first of 3 days here in Barnsley.
44.
Yeah, fair play to him. I like that. Players use things to fire themselves up. I mentioned earlier Cullen did it with Heta. Joe Cullen was the only seeded player not to be a favourite. He used that to his motivation. And Aspinall used the pundits.
40.
Who picked Luke Humphreys to railroad him. You picked Luke, didn't you, Chris?
To win the...
You feel silly now, don't you?
Yeah, I've never told you how good you are at your job, Mark. Anyway, back to the final.
139.
Ratajski leaves 50 and leaves himself just clinging on to a little bit of hope if he can keep Aspinall a couple of legs away from the win. But he can't afford to miss because he knows Nathan won't.
Wow. Wow. I thought he might have played safe on a 10 or a 6. And
34.
This is as good as match point. And you called it, Chris. He's not missing. Will the ass miss here?
Well, he's taking a little bit of a moment for himself. It'll just be the one dart, but that's usually all he needs. Has been for most of this final.
Game shot.
It's all he needs again. Brilliant finish from Nathan Aspinall, who is 1 away from the win.
Well, you complimented me on how good I was at my job. Maybe a hint of sarcasm, but Chris, you called it. Nathan's not missing. Ratajski couldn't afford to miss, he did. And we knew what the outcome would be. 7-1 Aspinall leads now and on the brink of a second title of the year. And there we see 7 from 8.
Well, look, stats only tell us what players have done. They don't tell us what they're about to do. But surely, Matt, you've been in the position when you're hitting everything, you must feel like the double seems bigger.
You just feel relaxed.
120.
He's bought himself some time now. Look, Nathan Aspinall, minus an absolute capitulation, is going to win this final now because players of this quality will find a leg. But you want to finish the job in style, like you said. Keep on hitting and just cap off a fine display.
Yeah, it has been superb from Nathan Aspinall. 3-180s in there, that incredible finishing that he's had in this match.
But Ratajski's wrestled the darts away here.
100.
In fact, if I remember correctly, his only miss at double was his very first.
65.
On 52, he missed the first dart, double 16, hit the next one, so he's actually hit his last 7 darts at double successfully.
139.
And that is why he leads 7-1, but it looks like it's going to be 7-2. Krzysztof Ratajski.
120.
Keeps chipping away. A couple of balls there, but Ratajski should get a second leg on the board.
6 of the 7, by the way, have been on that double 16, so Ratajski hoisting by his own petard on that one.
Break a throw as well. Still got plenty to do here, Krzysztof.
81.
Oh, poor last start. Caught in 2 minds there. Well, that's exactly where it went.
81.
Very similar visits of 81, as in where the darts landed.
$81.
Maybe losing a little bit of the intensity here, Nathan Aspinall. Ratajski would have to produce a real Harry Houdini act to get out of this particular hole.
130.
You're backing Nathan to find a leg, Chris, aren't you? But if Ratajski can hold here, just to give Nathan something
140.
little to think about, but at this stage, you've got a couple of breaks still, you're feeling fairly relaxed. The pressure won't really ramp up on Nathan unless that break reduces to 1.
137.
Down to 65 after a dozen. Aspinall determined to hit a 140 here and pile pressure on.
100.
Only a ton.
Options here. Double 16. And this is the preferred route for both players. And there it is. Back-to-back legs for the first time in this final for Krzysztof Ratajski. He's still fighting away. Aspinall has thrown for the match on 1 occasion already. Throws again here. Still got plenty in reserve, but will be eager to finish the job here.
There we were.
60.
Lavishing purple pros on his finishing. 7 out of 8 on the doubles in this match, but hasn't had a dart at double in the last 2 legs. As Ratajski has made the scoreline look a little bit more respectable.
140.
Now he might be starting to make Nathan sweat a little, because if he can break here, become 7-4, he'll be throwing them for 7-5, and all of a sudden
100.
you wouldn't blame a player for panicking.
Oh, you will do, and it's... I said, if he can get it down to 1 break, then the panic will set in.
60.
Ratajski has just got to keep chipping away at Aspinall. A couple of tons here, gives him a slender lead on the Aspinall throw.
140.
It's a good dart for him, that first one below the treble.
100.
Couldn't sandwich another one into the bed, so level pegging after 9. Do see that quite a lot from Nathan Aspinall, that re-grip.
He knows this is an important part of the match. Yes, the scoreline 7-3, but he doesn't want to get embroiled here.
Well, is he losing his grip? That's the question.
55.
Well, that doesn't make massive inroads into that 201. But Ratajski is not finding a treble.
90.
Big last star from Krzysztof Ratajski.
It was a big 1-4-6, wasn't it, that Aspinall had hit against him
88.
at the World Match Play by Michael van Gerwen. He couldn't take it out to win this match, but Ratajski has to be pitch perfect now.
And he's not going to be, so Nathan Aspinall with some match starts incoming. He raced into a 7-1 lead, he's being pegged back, but to finish the job here and win his second title of the year, 58 for Aspinall.
And it is Aspinall's day. He takes Krzysztof Ratajski to finishing school. A fine display of doubling from the Asp. 8 out of 9 on doubles to win this match and pick up his second title of 2022. Nathan Aspinall is the winner